Good morning, 49er faithful, 49er gang, 49er fam. This your boy Dion here, back with another video, man. I can't stay away. I can't. We had too great of a fucking season. We had a heartbreak in that Super Bowl, but I have to keep talking about 49er football. It's an addiction. But it's a healthy addiction. You know, I can't be mad. As y'all can see, I'm in the whip right now, man. Brought my wife in early, so anyway, definitely hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button so I can get you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. And make sure, you turn on them post notifications, baby. So we're going to get right on into it. Since Super Bowl's over, next thing coming on is free agency, man. Free agency, we got a laundry list of things that go on. Football does not stop. The XFL has already kicked off. I haven't really got a chance to watch the XFL, but I hear pretty good things. I've seen like some clips here and there on like ESPN, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. I don't see a problem with it, man. I think it's going to be great. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Vince first tried to kick it off, and it was hard. But anyway, back to the real thing. So I'm going to hit y'all up by position groups. And we'll get into it, video by video to talk about the position groups and what we have to do. Because we got a couple of guys we need to keep, and we're going to have to make some changes to do so. So, with that being said, first thing we're going to obviously start with is the QBs. We got 3 QBs on our roster, Jimmy G, Nick Mullins, and C.J. Beathard. Now, only one of them, Nick Mullins, he is an exclusive rights free agent. So basically, we got first dibs on him. So we should be able to get him back under contract. The only thing is, we still have C.J. Beathard for another year. Now, to me, I say cut C.J. Beathard and keep Nick Mullins. You can give Nick Mullins C.J. Beathard money. You know what I mean? If we cut C.J. Beathard, you know what I'm saying, it won't be too much. We'll have like a small amount of dead cap hit. It really ain't going to be that big of a deal. But let's get right into it, man. Jimmy G, man. Super Bowl was bad. It was really bad. First few games weren't, spectacular by any stretch of the imagination, but they weren't like the Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl was an atrocity. We lost that, but I already reported on that, so we're just going to move on. So, this year, Jimmy G is there, and they don't cut him. This man counts $26 million against the cap. It's a lot of money, people. A lot of money. Technically, for pretty much a first-year quarterback, through 16 games, had 329 completions. 69.1% completion rating, 3,978 yards passing, 8.4 yards per pass, 252.5 yards per game. His longest pass was 75 yards, 27 TDs, 13 interceptions. He was sacked 36 times. Total QBR of 60.2, total quarterback rating of 102.0. And then if you go to the playoffs, he had 37 completions, 63.8% completion percentage, 427 yards, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions, took 4 sacks, 41.8 QBR, and a 75.9 quarterback rating. So for the season for Jimmy, 5 games under 200 yards passing. Now, that's because we have, the rushing attack that we have. So there's nothing to be, concerned about with that. But that ain't nothing new. That's normal. You know what I'm saying? 3 games with 4 passing TDs, 2 times against Arizona, once against New Orleans, 3 games with no passing touchdowns at all. And that was against, the Rams. It was the Mud Bowl with the Washington Redskins, and then I believe it was that first or second game against Seattle. I believe it was the second game, possibly. Then he had 6 games where he didn't throw an INT, which is a good thing. But that means there's 11 other games that he did, and that's just not good at all. And those games were against Atlanta, Seattle, Baltimore, Green Bay, and the first game against Arizona. And Seattle in our first game. Oh, it shut off. Okay. My light shuts off because it's like, hey. Oh, excuse me. Let me turn my car on, y'all. I gotta make sure this joint do what it do. Plus, it'll keep me warm, man. It's cold out here, boy. So, either way, the next thing that'll come up is going to be the first game against Seattle. He was sacked 5 times. And then the second game against the Rams, he was sacked 6 times. In the playoffs, he was sacked 4 times, 2 times by Minnesota, once by Green Bay and Kansas City individually. Now, with Jimmy G, there's been a lot of talk of, taking, let's get rid of him. Go ahead and bring in Tom Brady. And, Jimmy's this, Jimmy's that. Is the guy good for an interception every other game? By all accounts from his stats, pretty much. Yes, at least 1 to 2 every other game. Couple games in a row he's had it. Is the guy necessarily a bad quarterback? Not by any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean? There's a ton of quarterbacks that started seasons way worse than he did. And I gave y'all a video earlier this year as it pertains to Jimmy G versus some of the greatest quarterbacks that we have. A couple of them that are still playing today. And I can tell you right now, man, his numbers compared to theirs are actually better. So, the only issue that I'm having is that, he's got to be able to make better decisions with the ball, and he's got to make those decisions a lot faster. A lot of the issue with Jimmy G is that he doesn't make decisions very quickly. Sometimes he's too busy going through read after read after read, and next thing you know, he gets sacked. He'll hold the ball too long, or if anything, once he knows he's getting sacked, he'll try to get the ball out to not take the sack. And it's like, sometimes, man, you just got to take the sack. But do I say we get rid of Jimmy? No. We're paying the man too much damn money. Can we get rid of him? Because Parag Marate is a genius when it comes to contracts? Yeah, we can cut him and only have to pay him $4 million. That's it. And we could save that money for the rest of the team, move on from him, and yes, we could, proverbially bring in a Tom Brady and, pay him $25 million for like a year or 2 and make his next year a voidable contract or something like that so he can play for, his favorite team growing up as a kid. He's from San Mateo. Joe Montana was his idol, so can we do it? Yes. Will we do it? No, I doubt that highly. Kyle Shanahan ain't getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. They committed to him. You know what I mean? You got John Lynch, you got Kyle Shanahan, you got Jimmy G. Those guys are all married. They ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So with Jimmy, it's just continuing to grow, being better for next season, and doing what he needs to do. I don't see a reason why he can't and why he won't be able to make himself better from this. I think he did a great job for his first full season as a quarterback. I mean, hell, we got to the Super Bowl, bro. You know what I'm saying? The defense was solid. The run game was nonstop. We did everything that we had to. But at the end of the day, we got to the Super Bowl strictly based on the fact that we played as a team, we won as a team, we lost as a team. We only lost 3 games this year. And next season, we have the 4th hardest strength of schedule. We got to play the AFC East, and we got to play the NFC least, which should be not too bad. And we do have that marquee matchup that everybody loves to watch against the Cowboys. But the funny thing is, the Cowboys might not have a quarterback and or number 1 receiver by the time they come up fucking with us. So the only thing we're going to have to do is stop Zeke at this point. So Jerry better start opening up his damn pockets where he says, ain't no problem for me to open up my checkbook. Well, if it ain't no problem to open up your checkbook, you better get to paying Dak, because Dak wants his fucking money. And Dak done played himself into a nice contract, man. He done what, he was supposed to do. Had Rod Marinelli not fucked up with the defense, against Green Bay a few years ago, they'd have possibly went to the damn Super Bowl. But that's besides the point. But either way, Jimmy G is our quarterback going forward. I do not see them cutting him. If they do, they got to cut him before, I believe it's like April 1st or something like that, before like $15 million of that contract becomes guaranteed. Like I said, he does count for $26 million against the cap. So with Jimmy, that's all I really have to say, man. He did as good of a job as he possibly could. It was his first season, you know. And if we all remember, Matt Ryan wasn't so fantastic in Shanahan's system the first year, but the second year he exploded. So I expect the same for Jimmy G. I expect him to minimize the mistakes. I expect the interception total to go down and the touchdown total to go up. As well, I expect him to just continue to grow and learn from it, man. I mean, I wasn't happy with his Super Bowl performance by any stretch of the imagination. No, I'm not saying that. But at the same time, like, why am I going to be mad? The dude did what he did, and he did it in his first full season as a damn, you know, as a first-time starter, man. I mean, you got to get a guy some credit, you know. Most people in their first season don't go to the fucking Super Bowl. Can't be mad at that, you know. So moving on rapidly, we have Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard. Now, C.J. Beathard is under contract, so we don't have to worry about signing him. But we could dump C.J. Beathard and give him, I think, we have about $160,000 versus, you know, against the cap if we dump him, which ain't much of nothing. That's fine. But for me, I say we dump C.J. Beathard, go ahead and give Nick Mullins a multi-year extension. You know what I'm saying? Give him a couple mil per year, man. You know, make him, you know, give him a little bread. Give him a little, you know, a little something to make sure he wants to stay. Because if that dude hits the free agent market, he's going to wind up taking somebody's starting spot, and or he's going to be that backup where you have that starter looking over their shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So I personally think, period, point blank, we watched what CJ did all these years. We seen what he did. He got us one fucking win, and that was against the Giants. Then he went down, and Jimmy took over and rolled off those next few wins. And then the next season, we wound up going 4-12. But, you know, those 3 games that we won were because of Nick Mullins. When you saw C.J. Beathard in the game, you saw the offense didn't move. But when Nick Mullins came in, that offense started moving. He started to show improve. He got us our first win in Seattle, for crying out loud, and God knows how long. So it's very simple. You should have 2 quarterbacks to be able to minimize having to pay 3 people. Jimmy G's obviously staying. He ain't going nowhere. You keep Nick Mullins. You sign him to a nice little deal to make sure you keep him, you know, keep him comfortable at the same time, and we move on. That's it, people. That's all I got for this video. It's very simple. It's very easy. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay 49er faithful, and y'all have yourselves a wonderful day.